So in that vein, let's go ahead and look at this interesting interview about the predictions for 2020.
All right, my next guest says, pay no attention to the new poll I'm about to reference, but it does show Donald Trump with a steady lead in a head-to-head rematch against President Biden, putting Trump at 49%, Biden at 43%. But my next guest goes as far as to say that you can co-sign that poll, and even the ones showing Trump losing, and just consign it to the flames. He insists Biden is still the man to beat in 2024. Just to tell you who I'm talking about, it's Professor Alan Lichtman, who's correctly predicted 9 of the last 10 elections. And the one he got wrong, 2000, he argues he actually got right, since Al Gore beat George W. Bush in the popular vote. So if not the polls, what's he using as his barometer? Well, Lichtman says we should follow his 13 keys to the White House. Now, they're all listed here for you.
So this professor has 13 keys, basically 13 metrics to look at to determine whether or not someone will win. Party mandate, contest, incumbency, third party, like the prominence of a third party, short-term economy, long-term economy, policy change. I don't know, that's kind of a silly one. I don't know what, that's kind of silly. I don't know why he has that there. Social unrest, that's a big one. Scandal, obviously. Foreign military failure, foreign military success, that's kind of the same one. Incumbent charisma, challenger charisma. And also, I feel like incumbency and incumbent charisma are the same. But I want to hear what he has to say about it, or I want you guys to hear what he has to say about it, because I want to talk about the fact that you could probably point to. I just don't necessarily agree with these 13 criteria have been are accurately predicting the election. I don't think that this guy's is as accurate as he thinks. And I do believe that you have to consider foul play, because he's already saying like, oh, like the one that he lost was Al Gore and he actually won. So you are taking into account foul play. So like, does that mean like 2020? You get what I'm saying? Does that mean 2020 was legit only because you guessed it right?
And they include things like incumbency and third-party candidates, the state of the economy, and of course, social unrest. Now, if 6 or more go against the party in the White House, its candidate will lose. Fewer than 6, its candidate will win. So where do things stand right now? Let's bring in Alan Lichtman to talk all about it. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, you have not made your official prediction yet. I see the keys. But why do you think that Biden is in the driver's seat now when all these polls seem to say he should be worried?
Remember, all the polls told us that Hillary Clinton would win in 2016. I predicted Trump would win in 1988. I ain't
gonna lie, that wasn't that hard to predict. I'm not gonna lie about. Look, 2016 was just duh when you don't campaign in key swing states and you're literally shaming your voters. You're gonna lose. So there's that. But whatever.
Late as May and June, George H.W. Bush was trailing his opponent, Mike Dukakis, by 18 percentage points. He went on to win handily. Polls are snapshots. They are abused as predictors. The keys are different because they tap into the structure of how elections really work, which is that they are votes up or down on the strength and performance of the White House party. Now, why does Biden have an advantage? Yeah. You know, we hear all this consternation. There should have been a younger candidate. But look at this. Biden wins the incumbency key, which you saw on your chart. He wins the
So effectively, he's saying he's the incumbent. So that's an advantage. It sounds silly, but when you don't have any competition, you don't have to worry about being on the defensive. And so it leaves you less likely to be exposed. That's why he's winning the incumbency key. So that's one. And he said you have to have 6 to win or 6 to go against you.
Because he's not seriously opposed for the nomination. That means 6 more of my keys would have to fall to predict his defeat. Right now, he only loses 2. Party mandate based on House elections in 2022 and incumbent charisma because he's no Franklin Roosevelt.
So This is why I disagree. See, this is why I had to bring this up. Because they're telling people right now, right, as we speak, he's like, we can't count him out because he hasn't failed 6. Okay. If he's saying that he has the incumbency one, but then he's saying, because he's already the incumbent, right? But then he's saying the contest. Because there's nobody competing against him so you already have the incumbent. I don't understand. That's why I'm confused. I don't understand why incumbency and contest are not just one. Because the contest is the guy you're trying to throw in jail. Like you have a legitimate candidate that increases voter demographic amongst all bases, except for white men. He is technically, he was the most popular incumbent in history. I'm talking about Donald Trump. That's why I'm like, I don't know how you consider this to be legitimate. Right? So that's why I'm confused as to like why he thinks what? I don't get that. But let's just say that we're going to take this for what it is. So he says he's losing only right now the party mandate because of the midterms and the charisma, incumbent charisma. So that's 2. You see, he has to be sure to lose 4 more in order to know whether or not, and he says he won't predict it. And I'm sure because they told his ass not to. They told him not to predict it. Because, let's go. Guys, would you consider social unrest like what we're going through right now? Like, I don't know, college students protesting across the country, not only college students, but just general protests. I would probably put that in the social unrest category. Right. And I would say that that's probably a result of his foreign failure. That's 2 already right there. That's 2 more. Foreign military failure. Palestine. Iran. Hell, right now he's getting his ass handed to him in Yemen, of all places. The failure in Russia and Ukraine. I mean, do I need to go on? Okay. And everybody is aware of it. And because of his foreign military failures, ladies and gentlemen, the short-term economy was trash. It has been trash. Oh, and by the way, he's dealing with 2/3. Well, he's definitely dealing with RFK Jr. Both, but that's kind of, it could swing either way because RFK, to be objective, RFK Jr. seems to be going mostly after Trump voters than Biden voters. And to be honest with you, it kind of, somebody had made a point of like, yo, man, I think that RFK Jr. might be a psyop to take voters away from Trump to ensure that Biden wins because they might have something on him, which is why they got him to run and then go third party and then take all those people with him and then lose all of them, right? Because right now, a lot of the people that RFK brought with him after his Israel policy stance, gone, right? So there's some legitimacy to that. But he still presents a problem for the Dem because a lot of people are like, well, I ain't gonna vote for Trump, but damn, I ain't voting for him. I'm not voting for Biden. And RFK Jr. and then Jill Stein and then just in some states you can vote for the Socialist Party. So, but basically, I do think that the third party is but then you got the long term. You got challenger charisma because Trump, I don't give a damn what you say. He got charisma. Once again, only presidential candidate that's probably taking the lead in the polls while having multiple mugshots out in public, okay? Going through multiple court cases and still campaigning and still just as popular, if not more popular than he was, okay? And then you have long-term economy. How do y'all feel about that? Think everybody is pretty much in agreement around the world? Not even it's not hyperbole, people. Around the world, we're all pretty much in agreement the economy's trash. And some people would consider the Hunter Biden scandal a scandal, but the problem is it would have to be a little bit more present when the election actually comes up. So, okay. So basically what you're telling me is he loses basically all these things except for the incumbency because he's the incumbent candidate technically. No, he said he doesn't have the party mandate. So that's it. Yeah. He loses basically everything. I don't know what policy change means. He doesn't really go into detail with that. But based off of this guy who's predicted every election, Joe Biden's going to lose. Which brings me to my main point, which is if he lose, because all these criteria, I think I'm calling ball and strikes here. If that criteria has been previously used, so let's apply this to let's go back to that actually. Let's apply this to Obama. When he ran for election, he had the party mandate, he had the incumbency. Third party was not a great threat to him at that time. People loved the economy. People believed in the long-term economy. I'm not saying it was true, but people believed in it. You got to remember, they love the economy because, like, damn, it's better than the Bush years. Okay. There wasn't social unrest really until the second term. They didn't have a scandal, so he won on that. He got Osama. Incumbent charisma, there still to this day has never been, unfortunately, fucking bastard. There's never been anybody more charismatic than Obama. Challenger, Mitt Romney. No, it's not. Yeah, it was Mitt Romney, right? Yeah. So Obama won all these. So it was pretty obvious he won all these in both situations. Right? Who did he go up against the first time? I can't even remember. Who was his first? Yo, who did Obama beat the first time? Oh, McCain. Okay, Romney McCain was the second time. But the first time was Palin and who? Oh, you're saying no. It was McCain Palin the first time. Yeah, there was no way in hell he was gonna lose that one. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. So now we gotta go to. So now let's try this with George W. Bush for the first time, or excuse me, the second election. There wasn't much social unrest. Because that was, when was Occupy Wall Street? Let me look at Occupy. And even that, I don't know if that counts as enough social unrest. Wow, somebody edited the Occupy Wall Street 4 days ago. That's pretty weird. 2011. Oh, so that was later. That was too late. That was long, man. Yeah, no, that was already, so no. So yeah, there wasn't really much social unrest. There were some protests with the Iraq war, but not large enough to make the news or anything like that. You can make an argument that he didn't lose on foreign policy because people believed in the war in Afghanistan at the time, right? He was hiding behind 9/11 and then used that to hide to get away with Iraq. You know, some people didn't believe in Iraq, but they believed that in order to achieve the goals that Bush set forth in 9/11, that we had to be there, even though that it was stupid. So I don't know if it would call it a foreign policy success, but you wouldn't call it a failure. And maybe, but you could argue that he used foreign policy, like he used the war in Afghanistan in 9/11 to stay in power. So he did win, at least on that one. Third party, wasn't that the Howie Hawkins shit? Yeah, that won't gonna work. It's dumbass. Short-term economy wasn't really. Oh, actually, no. I think he got a small boost because of the housing market. Everybody thought that they were getting over, because before 2008, so everybody thought they were getting over. So actually, in the short-term economy, he probably won. Party mandate definitely won. Who was he going up against? Oh, Mr. I have a plan guy out of Afghanistan, but never told anybody. That was John Kerry. So yeah, he wasn't really all that charismatic. Man, yeah, I guess, yeah. Social unrest didn't have any. So George W, excuse me, definitely won the majority of these too. So that makes sense. So here's my thing. This is why I'm a little bit about the Trump situation. Because he said you can lose 6 or you can win 6. He didn't really say what happens if you tie, because 13. because Trump had the incumbency, but you can make an argument that he didn't have the party mandate based off of what he said, because I believe that the Democrats ended up taking over at some point, the House or the Senate. So he lost that one, but he had the incumbency. The contest shouldn't have been a contest. I am not Biden won, but challenger charisma, Trump wins that one. Incumbent charisma, Trump wins that one. Contest shouldn't have been one. Third party, I would say that was a non-factor. I would call that a push. Short-term economy, people believe the economy was great, but you can make an argument that the COVID situation could have made this. I don't know which way I want to go with that one. Because I can say right now, because of all the polls we've seen, people believe the economy is better under Trump. So I'll give him the short term. Okay. And I definitely gonna give him the long term because people still feel like that. Social unrest, he loses. Because that man, those protests after George Floyd and the way he handled it, and then the January 6th situation is like, it just did not really go well. Scandal, he loses. Not because he necessarily deserved to lose that one, but he did lose it. Foreign military failure, success. Depends on how you define it. He didn't start more wars, but he bombed the hell out of a lot of places. But he didn't have any success necessarily. So Trump was a hard one. Trump is kind of a hard one. I'm not going to lie. Trump is kind of a hard one. Because wait, so he won party man. No, he didn't win party mandate because of the midterms. So that's one L. In third party, no. Short economy, no. Long term. Policy change, don't say. But he did lose social unrest. He did lose a scandal. I don't know if what you would call foreign policy failure or success for Trump. So because you can't point to success, I got to give you the failure. So that's 5. But he had the charisma, and he did challenge the charisma. I don't know. So basically the only thing I could think of that you would give him, right? Maybe is the contest, like that you could take away from it. It's a contest, not because it should have actually been a contest, but because he had the entire celebrity world at his back, like not at his back, trying to stop him because, or pushing Biden to stop him. You had the entire celebrity world and a lot of the political world, even like the Lincoln Project, for example, trying to stop him. So maybe if you're being generous, you could say you could give him Trump lost 6. So, but if everything holds true based off of this key right here, Trump is going to win again based off of this key criteria. And if he does, I'm going to have to go back and check this guy out again. If Trump wins based off of this criteria, I'm going to have to check this guy out, because so far, everything that he said in this criteria, some of them, once again, redundant to say the least, but the past is kind of right. And I do agree with him on when it comes to Al Gore. I do believe that should have been his election. So we'll see, man. But I really wanted to share this with you guys, because I found it interesting. I didn't necessarily agree with it, but I found it interesting, to say the least. Because when you're for me, I'm always accounting for election fraud. And he is saying that he would have, like Al Gore, he got right, but election fraud happened. So my thing is it his key, like that helped him accurately predict the Joe Biden victory? Or is he just ignoring the election fraud because he accurately predicted the Joe Biden victory? Who knows?